Hello there everybody, how is it going and how have you been? I am EuclideanSqd, and we're back here in Duel Links to check out the newest main box added to the game, Absolute Inferno. And yes, I am aware that Loomis and Umbra are running around right now as roaming duelists. I'm not particularly troubled with them at the moment because they happened to release this same night that the box did, and just kind of waiting for a little bit more information to come out on them before I start designing a farming deck and preparing to record an episode on those two, so ignoring them. This is the newest box. Let's just go ahead and start buying some packs. And one thing that is bothering me ever so slightly is that Red Dragon Archfiend is the cover monster for this box. And we might have possibly gotten it in pack 1, but the point that I want to make is that Red Dragon Archfiend was not available until Jack Atlas was available. Yet Black Rose Dragon, which has been available since day 1 through an Akiza skill, still not available in a box yet. I don't know why Black Rose Dragon is not available. I don't know why Konami is so scared of it. Maybe there's some strategy out there I don't know of, but continuing on. Neo Flamvel Hedgehog, a 3-star Fire Pyro Tuner, 800 attack, 200 defense. If this card is destroyed by battle, select one card in your opponent's graveyard and remove it from play. That's just a good skill in general. If this card on the field is destroyed by a card effect, select one fire monster with 200 or less defense in your graveyard, except Neo Flamvel Hedgehog, and add it to your hand. And if you will excuse me just a moment, yes, okay, this is still recording, but just wanted to double check. Laval Forest Sprite, a 2-star Fire Pyro Tuner, 300 attack, 200 defense. When this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, all face-up Laval monsters you currently control gain 200 attack for each Laval monster in your graveyard until the end phase. Alright. I am already sensing a pattern here in that this box is probably loaded with fire monsters and possibly pyro tuners. Not quite Red Dragon Archfiend, but it is an ultra rare on the first pack, which I will not complain about. Chaos King Archfiend, a level 7 Dark Fiend Synchro, 2600 attack and defense. One Fiend type tuner, but any non-tuners. When this card declares an attack, you can switch the current attack and defense of all face-up monsters your opponent controls until the end of the battle phase. Ooh, that's cool. That's a cool effect. I like that. Which basically means that if either of your opponent's monster's stats are low enough for something on your field to destroy it, well, I guess specifically Chaos King, because its effect only activates when it attacks. Yeah, Chaos King can just get rid of it. Because if it's in defense, but it's in attack mode, or like you can basically choose to switch the stat to the weaker one, depending on whatever mode it's attacking against. I think that makes sense, but anyway. Umbral Horror Ghost. Okay. Level 2 Dark Fiend, 200 attack and defense. During your main phase, you can special summon this card and one level 4 or lower Fiend type monster from your hand. You cannot normal summon set during the turn you activate this effect. You can only use this effect of Umbral Horror Ghost once per turn. Alright, well that's obviously meant for you to special summon something like a Fiend type tuner, and then immediately tune with it. It cannot create Chaos King, at least unless the Fiend has some kind of an effect that changes levels, but yeah, because this thing only lets you special summon a level 4 or lower, and King is 7, so the Master doesn't work out. Gen X Ally Remote, level 3 Dark Machine Tuner, 500 attack, 1800 defense. Respectable amount of defense. Once per turn, you can select one face-up tuner monster on the field. The selected monster's name is treated as Gen X Controller until the end phase. Alright, so basically the idea with this thing is you play it, you can use the effect on itself to change its name to Gen X Controller, because a lot of the Gen X monsters demand Gen X or Gen X Controller as their tuner. And then we have Magic Hole Golem, a level 3 Dark Rock, 0 defense, 2000 or 0 attack, 2000 defense. Once per turn, you can select one face-up monster you control. Its attack is halved until the end phase, and it can attack your opponent directly this turn. During the turn you activate this effect, only the selected monster can attack. Makes sense. Still, 2000 defense is not... It's nothing to sneeze at. So theoretically, you could just keep throwing monsters directly at your opponent. I mean, until they eventually create something that's strong enough to destroy Magical Golem, but, you know. Rebirth of Nephthys. A ritual spell card. This card can be used to ritual summon any Nephthys ritual monster. You must also tribute monsters from your hand or field whose total levels equal or exceed the level of the ritual monster you are ritual summoning. Then, if you tributed Devotee of Nephthys or Cerulean Sacred Phoenix of Nephthys, you can destroy one card on the field. And there is a ritual Nephthys in this box. I did see that in the little box introduction cutscene that they've been doing. It's that super rare blue card you see over on the side, and it just dawned on me that it's a level 2, so remarkably easy to ritual summon. Midnight Fiend. A level 2 Dark Fiend. It's an 800-600 normal monster. Not that great. Probably only here to give Umbral Phantom Ghost or Umbral Horror Ghost or whatever that thing was called something to special summon. And then we have Genomix Fighter. A level 6 Wind Psychic Tuner. 2200 attack, 1100 defense. 6-star tuner is not something you see that often. Oh, that's why. You can normal summon this card without tributing, but its original attack is halved and its level becomes 3. There you go. Once per turn, you can declare one monster type. If this card is used as a Synchro Material monster this turn, treat this card and the other Synchro Material monsters as that monster type for the Synchro Summon. Alright, so if something says you can only use Fiends in it, you can use this thing's effect to make everything count as a Fiend. If you activate this effect, you cannot normal or special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except monsters of the declared type. Okay, so if you do declare everything to be Fiends, you have to then Synchro Summon for a Fiend type or Synchro monster. Alright, that makes sense, because otherwise that would be a little bit of a broken effect. Did we get another ultra rare? I don't know, maybe. Level Stenon. A level 7 Fire Pyro Synchro. 2700 attack, 1800 defense. Accepts any tuner, but it has to have non-tuner fire monsters. When this card is Synchro Summoned, send one card from your hand to the graveyard. During either player's turn, when this card is targeted by a card effect, you can banish a lava monster from your graveyard, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy the targeting card. That's a nice secondary effect. Limited uses, obviously, but I remember dueling the NPC Duelists level deck, and they're fairly good at putting themselves in the graveyard so that you can fuel effects. But it's actually very nice that you can just use that repeatedly, so you don't ever have to worry about something like, enemy controller, for example. Fantastic little card, and I'm just going to double check again. Yep, I am still recording. I don't know why I'm so paranoid about it. Moving on. Disciple of Nephthys. Probably not pronouncing that last word right, but whatever. A level 2 Wind Spellcaster, 0 attack, 2000 defense. During your main phase, you can destroy one card in your hand, and if you do, add one Nephthys monster from your deck to your hand, except Disciple of Nephthys. During your next standby phase, after this card was destroyed by card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can add one Nephthys spell trap from your deck to your hand. You can only use each effect of Disciple of Nephthys once per turn. Okay. So, if you have multiple of these in your deck, use one, destroy one in your hand. That would let you search out the Ritual Nephthys, and then the one that gets destroyed and sent to the graveyard will let you search out the Ritual spell. I get what it's supposed to do. Okay. That makes sense. And then a super rare, Laval Lakeside Lady. A level 3 Fire Pyro Tuner, 200 attack, 200 defense. If this card is in your graveyard, and you have 3 or more lava monsters with different names in your graveyard, you can banish this card and one other lava monster from your graveyard to target one set card your opponent controls, destroy that target. If you're going to be playing Lavals, you've probably got material to return banished cards anyway, so it's not that bad of an effect, but banishing 2 to destroy a set seems a little steep. Oh, and my complete apologies. I said that super rare ritual monster is the Nephthys ritual. It might be, but I think the actual quote-unquote Cerulean Sacred Fiend, or Sacred Phoenix of Nephthys, or the promoted Nephthys card that I saw in the cutscene, I believe is actually the Ritual Ultra Rare. And, well, we're getting a synchro of some kind. Nekogal number 2. A 6-star Earth Beast Warrior, 1900 attack, 2000 defense. Normal type. Not a good card. Umbral Horror Will-o'-the-Wisp. Interesting, apparently this is an archetype of some kind. Level 1 Dark Fiend, no attack and defense. When this card is normal or special summoned, you can target one Umbral Horror monster you control or in your graveyard, except this card. This card's level becomes the current level of that monster. When this attack position card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, and was in face of attack position at the start of the damage step, destroy the monster that destroyed this card. Alright, there are cards in the game that help you nullify battle damage, so you can get around the fact that you would effectively be taking a direct attack. Very interesting. I feel like there's some kind of central card that ties them all together. Yeah. Anyway, Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Horse Prince. A level 6 Fire Beast Warrior Synchro, 2200 attack and defense. Requires a Fire Tuner, but accepts any non-tuners. When this card is Synchro Summoned, you can Special Summon one level 3 Fire monster from your deck. After you Synchro Summon this card, you cannot Special Summon level 5 or higher monsters for the rest of the turn. Alright, so that secondary effect makes sense, because otherwise you could just Special Summon another tuner, then tune with Horse Prince to make something bigger, so they needed to apply that restriction. So you can't do anything crazy like that. First duplicate, Neo-Flamville Hedgehog. Umbral Horror Unform. A level 4 Dark Fiend, still no attack and defense. When this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard while attacking a monster, you can Special Summon 2 Umbral Horror monsters from your deck. You can only use the effect of Umbral Horror Unform once per turn. Horror. I feel like I'm slurring that as I'm trying to talk, but anyway. These things are strange. I'm not entirely sure what they're supposed to do. Defender of Nephthys. A level 2 Wind Spellcaster, 1400 attack, 200 defense. During your main phase, you can destroy one card in your hand, and if you do, Special Summon one level 4 or lower Nephthys monster from your hand, except Defender of Nephthys. During your next standby phase, after this card was destroyed by a card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can destroy one Nephthys monster in your deck, except Defender of Nephthys. You can only use each effective Defender of Nephthys once per turn. Alright, so that would let you target a Sacred Phoenix that's hiding in your deck, but I don't know if that would trigger its effect to Special Summon itself. Very interesting. I stopped playing the physical card game long before these Nephthys archetype cards came out. King Scarlet. Continuous trap card. If a Red Dragon Archfiend monster you control battles during damage calculation, make that monster you control unable to be destroyed by that battle, and if you do, Special Summon this card as a normal monster. Fiend type tuner, fire, level 1, attack 0, defense 0. This card is also still a trap card. Nah. I mean, I guess that's good in an emergency if your opponent tries to do something tricky that would destroy your Red Dragon Archfiend. But there's just better trap monsters out there, so not sure. Another Defender of Nephthys, and then Flamvell Guard. Level 1 Fire Dragon Tuner. It's a normal monster, so not bad. 100 attack, 2000 defense. And I should specify that being a normal monster does not necessarily make things good or bad, it's just kind of more stats relative to level. Moving on. Matriarch of Nephthys. And yet another one. Again, first time I'm seeing a lot of these cards. Level 2 Wind Spellcaster, 600 attack and defense. You can target one level 4 or lower Nephthys monster in your graveyard, except Matriarch of Nephthys. Destroy one card in your hand, and if you do, Special Summon the targeted monster in defense position, but negate its effects. Alright. During your next standby phase, after this card was destroyed by card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can Special Summon this card from the graveyard. Alright, that's kind of cool. Not bad. Twin Shield Defender, Level 4 Earth Warrior, 700 attack, 1600 defense. When this card you control is destroyed by battle and sent to your graveyard, you can have the current attack of one face-up monster your opponent controls until the end phase. Alright. You could, if you have the life points to spare, you could let this thing crash into something, take a little bit of recoil, but then have its attack for something else of yours to destroy. It's not great, but it's something. Laval Lancelord. Level 6 Fire Warrior, 2100 attack, 200 defense. You can normal summon this card without tributing. If you do, during the end phase, send it to the graveyard. When this card on the field is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you can target one of your banished fire monsters, add that target to your hand. Alright. But note that if you do normal summon without tributing, it only counts as being sent to the graveyard. It does not count as being destroyed. So, you do have to keep that in mind. Interesting card. Another Will-o'-the-Wisp. Oh no, Horror Ghost actually has some stats, so they're not all 0/0s, but 200/200 is not much better. And then Force Resonator. A level 2 Water Fiend tuner, 500 attack and defense. You can send this face-up card you control to the graveyard, then target one face-up monster you control. If it attacks this turn, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects that target a monster until the end of the damage step. Alright, so again, counters things like enemy controller, but not Wall of Disruption, so still, not too bad. Chronicler of Nephthys. There's a lot of these. Level 2 Wind Spellcaster, 300 attack, 1200 defense. Target one Nephthys card in your graveyard, except Chronicler of Nephthys. Destroy one card in your hand, and if you do, add that target to your hand. During your next standby phase, after this card was destroyed by card effect and sent to the graveyard, add one Nephthys card from your graveyard to your hand, except Chronicler of Nephthys. You can only use each effect once per turn. Okay, so this one returns stuff from your graveyard to your hand, whereas others tend to search from the deck, it seems. Although Matriarch special summons from the graveyard, but yeah, so see, this is a perfect example of a normal monster that is not good. There are plenty of 4-star normal monsters that have 2000 attack or 1900 defense, and you don't really need both. Moving on. Lavalval Dragon. 6-star Fire Dragon Synchro, 2500 attack, 1200 defense. Pretty familiar with this card from the NPC duelists that use it. Accepts any tuner, but requires non-tuner fires. Once per turn, you can add a Laval monster from your deck to your hand, then send a Laval monster from your hand to the graveyard. Pretty powerful card, considering a lot of Lavals have their effects activate when they go to the graveyard. And not a bad collection for our first 10 packs. Especially considering I did get an Ultra Rare in the very first pack of the whole box, so let's go ahead and continue on. Did not realize that that took 18 minutes to go through 10 packs. Malicious Fork? Probably not pronouncing that right, but whatever. Level 2 Dark Fiend, 400 attack and defense. Send one other Fiend-type monster from your hand to the graveyard. Special summon this card from your hand. Alright. Tuning potential, at least. Flamvell Counter. A counter trap card. When a spell trap card is activated, banish one fire monster with 200 defense from your graveyard, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. Pretty easy to activate trap card, considering I think almost all of the Flamvell monsters have 200 defense. And then Last Hope of Nephthys. Target one other Nephthys card you control and one card your opponent controls. Destroy them. You can only activate one Last Hope of Nephthys per turn. Alright. Vermilion Sparrow, a level 5 Fire Pyro Fusion with 1900 attack and 1500 defense and no effect. Ugh. Don't bother with this thing. And if you've got nothing better, maybe, but I wouldn't. Duplicate Remote, and then King's Synchro. Trap card. When your opponent's monster declares an attack on a Synchro monster you control, negate the attack, then you can apply the rest of this card's effect. Banish that Synchro monster you control and one tuner from your graveyard, and if you do, special summon from your extra deck one Synchro monster whose level equals the total levels of the banished monsters had, with this special summon treated as a Synchro summon. So effectively, if you have a Synchro on the field, negate one attack against it, then banish it a tuner, and it's effectively synchro summoning during the battle phase for something bigger. Could be good, but probably requires very careful deck construction. Laval Miller, this is a reprint card. Level 3 Fire Pyro, 300 attack, 400 defense. When this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can send 2 Laval monsters from your deck to the graveyard. Genex Spare, a level 3 Dark Machine Tuner, 800 attack, 1200 defense. Once per turn, if you control another Genex monster, you can make this card's name Genex Controller until the end phase. Alright, so again, more tuners to mimic the central tuner to the archetype, and then we got another Unform. Neo Flamvel Hedgehog, Flamvel Archer, level 3 Fire Pyro Tuner, 1000 attack, 200 defense. Once per turn, you contribute 1 face-up Pyro-type monster you control to have all Flamvel monsters on the field gain 800 attack until the end phase. Bad, and then yet another Unform. Another one of these not that great fusions, Laval Stenin and Flamvel Counter. Whole pack of duplicates. Remote. Red Cocoon. Trap card. Target 1 Dragon-type Synchro monster you control. Equip this card to it. While it is battling an opponent's monster, until the end of the damage step, negate the effects of all face-up monsters your opponent controls. During the end phase, if this card is in the graveyard because it was sent there this turn, you can target 1 Red Dragon Archfiend in your graveyard, special summon it. Well, gee, doesn't this card seem a little broken? I mean, especially for people that are willing to dump money into this game to get 3 copies of Red Dragon Archfiend. You create it, you give it Red Cocoon, when it battles, either attacks or gets attacked, it negates effects, and then if you destroy Red Dragon Archfiend while it's equipped with this thing, it basically just revives at the end of the turn. Yeah, totally balanced trap card game. Moving on. Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Rooster. Level 3 Fire Beast Warrior, 1500 attack, 100 defense. When this card is special summoned by the effect of a Fire Fist monster, you can add 1 Fire Fist monster from your deck to your hand. You can only use this effect of Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Rooster once per turn. And once per turn, you can send 1 face-up Fire Formation spell trap card you control to the graveyard to set a Fire Formation spell trap card directly from your deck. Alright. Searches cards, recycles cards, not bad. Got a Laval Miller, Gash the Dust Lord. Level 4 Dark Fiend, 1000 attack, 1200 defense. When this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent, increase the level of this card by 1 to a maximum of 12. Alright. Possibly helps with synchro summoning, I guess, but... And Thermal Genex, a level 8 Fire Machine Synchro, 2400 attack, 1200 defense. Requires Genex Controller as the tuner, but accepts any non-tuner fire monsters. This card gains 200 attack for each fire monster in your graveyard. Very good. If this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, inflict 200 damage to your opponent for each Genex monster in your graveyard. Also pretty good. Not bad. Another Gash the Dust Lord, Power Supplier. Level 2 Earth Spellcaster, 400 attack, 400 defense. Once per turn, you can select 1 face-up monster you control. It gains 400 attack while you control this face-up card. However, a monster cannot gain more than 400 attack from this card's effect. Okay, but that is a permanent boost, because it doesn't say until the end phase. So if you want to play kind of dangerously, you could just normal summon this thing in attack mode, give something the permanent 400 boost, and then just shrug off your opponent destroying it. That's something to do. Duplicate Force Resonator, Genex Spare, Laval Coatl. Oh, it's cute. Level 2 Fire Pyro Tuner, 1300 attack, 700 defense. If you have 3 or more Laval monsters with different names in your graveyard, you can special summon this card from your hand. Very nice. And Magic Hole Golem. And Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Wolf. A level 3 Fire Beast Warrior, 0 attack, 1900 defense. Not what I would have expected for something called Wolf, but... If this card is flipped face up, you can set one Fire Formation trap card directly from your deck. Then, if this card was flip summoned, you can also set one Fire Formation spell card directly from your deck. Okay, so you are guaranteed to get at least a trap card out of it if you set this thing. Not bad. Attack Gainer. Level 1 Earth Warrior Tuner. 0 attack and defense. If this card is sent to the graveyard as a synchro material monster, select one face-up monster your opponent controls. The selected monster loses 1000 attack until the end phase. Seems like a weird effect for something called Attack Gainer. I would assume it would have given the synchro monster, a power boost until the end phase, but it's not a bad effect, to be honest. And another Lavalval Dragoon. Wow, not even a super rare. I mean, I can't really complain. I got what? 2 super rares and an ultra rare in that first set of 10. We'll probably do 40 or 50 packs total, depending on how fast we go, before we just check out what's left in the box. Another Laval Miller, Midnight Fiend, Disciple of Nephthys, malicious Knife. Probably not pronouncing that right, don't really care. Level 2 Dark Fiend, 600 attack, 100 defense. When this card is normal summoned, you can target one malicious monster in your graveyard except malicious Knife. Special summon that target. Oh, I get it. Malicious, like carnivorous or like carnivore and herbivore sort of thing. So these are fiends that feed on malice, I guess. And they're probably all named after silverware, so I wouldn't be surprised if there's a malicious spoon and a, I don't know, malicious butcher knife or something silly like that. But moving on. Fire Formation Kaio. This is another reprint card. Continuous trap card. During the turn this card is activated, if a Beast Warrior type monster you control attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage to your opponent. This applies even if this card leaves the field. But this card also just gives a permanent 300 attack point power boost to all Beast Warrior type monsters that you play. And then we got a duplicate Force Resonator. Flamvel Archer, Neo Flamvel Origin. Level 2 Fire Pyro Tuner, 500 attack, 200 defense. If you control a face-up Flamvel monster except Neo Flamvel Origin, and your opponent has 3 or less cards in their graveyard, you can special summon this card from your hand. Alright, so early game synchro summoning potential. Not too bad. Awakening of Nephthys. A continuous trap card. All Nephthys monsters you control gain 300 attack. If this face-up card in the spell and trap zone is destroyed by card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon one Nephthys monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard, but destroy it during the end phase. You can only use this effect of Awakening of Nephthys once per turn. Okay, so I get the point of this trap card considering the basic Sacred Phoenix of Nephthys. Basically, the way that card works is when it's destroyed by a card effect and sent to the graveyard, it revives itself at the start of your next standby phase, but it destroys all spell and trap cards on the field in the process. So the idea with this card is that it uses that effect to the benefit by just letting you special summon another Nephthys to take it to, add to the field for the turn. Awful Normal, Lavalval Dragoon, Defender of Nephthys. Anything decent in here? We got probably the super rare. Flamvel Baby. Level 1 Fire Pyro Tuner. 800 attack, 200 defense. During your main phase, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard, select one face-up fire monster you control, and give it 400 attack. Not bad. Again, another permanent power boost. Excuse me. Chronicler of Nephthys, and... oh, so this is a Nephthys ritual. Okay. Moving on from that whole confusing mess that I tried to describe earlier. Level 2 Wind Spellcaster Ritual. 1200 attack, 1200 defense. You can ritual summon this card with Rebirth of Nephthys. You can only use each of the following effects of Devotee of Nephthys once per turn. If this card is ritual summoned, you can activate this effect, special summon one Nephthys monster from your deck. Also, during the end phase of this turn, destroy this card. Okay, so creates itself, you can special summon your Sacred Phoenix, and then at the end of the turn you lose the weaker monster, so your opponent can't attack it. And then, if this card is in the graveyard, you can destroy one Nephthys card in your hand, and if you do, special summon this card. Oh, okay, so it comes back. That's not a bad ritual monster, to be honest. Gash the Dust Lord, Trap Eater, a level 4 Dark Fiend tuner, 1900 attack, 1600 defense, cannot be normal summoned set, must be special summoned by sending one face-up trap card your opponent controls to the graveyard, cannot be special summoned by other ways. So, a little bit of a dead draw if your opponent doesn't use continuous trap cards, but this thing is basically a very hard counter to, what is it? The Cypher Soldier obnoxious little stall deck. I mean, your opponent can still just ignore it by just not activating their continuous traps anyway, but it's something, I guess. Meh. Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Boar. Level 4 Fire Beast Warrior Tuner. 1100 attack, 1400 defense. Cannot be used as a synchro material monster except for the synchro summon of a fire monster. When this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon one level 4 Fire Fist monster from your deck, except Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Boar. So, replaces itself when it's destroyed. Once per turn, when a Fire Fist monster is special summoned from your extra deck, you can set one Fire Formation spell card directly from your deck. Not bad, but the way that's worded, you'd have to have Boar on the field, but then not use it in the synchro summoning. It just seems a little awkward, but I don't know, maybe there's a way around it. Laval Stenen, Laval Lancelord, Last Hope of Nephthys, Red Cocoon, Power Supplier, Laval Duel Slasher. There we go. Level 4, Fire Warrior Synchro, 2400 attack, 200 defense. Any tuner, but requires non-tuner fires. This card gains effects based on the number of lava monsters in your graveyard. I don't know if that's 2+ and 3+, or specifically 2 and 3. I can't see at this resolution. Once per turn, if this card attacks a defense position monster, it can attack once again in a row. And if this card attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage to your opponent. I will double check this thing when we get to the full card display, and I will see if those are 2+ and 3+ or not. Horror, Will-o'-the-Wisp, Laval Stenen, Red Mirror, a level 1 Fire Fiend with no attack and defense. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard. Then target one Fire Fiend type monster in your graveyard except Red Mirror, add it to your hand. Alright. If you synchro summon while this card is in your graveyard, except during the damage step, or the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can add this card to your hand. You can only use each effect of Red Mirror once per turn. I don't get the point of this thing. I mean, clearly it's used to recover things out of your graveyard, but I don't get why. I mean, I don't know every Fire Fiend in the game off the top of my head. Maybe there's a really good one that you can recover with it, but I don't know. Flamvel Dragnov, a level 2 Fire Dragon, 1100 attack, 200 defense. When this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, inflict 500 damage to your opponent. You can remove from play this card in your graveyard, along with one face-up fire monster you control to add a Flamvel Dragnov from your deck to your hand. First effect is pretty good, second effect not so much. At least in my opinion. Umbral Will-o'-the-Wisp, and Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Kirin, a level 8 Fire Beast Warrior Synchro, 2000 attack, 2800 defense. A lot of defense on this thing. One Fire Tuner plus one or more non-tuner Fire Fist monsters, very specific requirements. When this card is synchro summoned, you can set one Fire Formation spell trap card directly from your deck. All monsters your opponent controls lose 100 attack for each face-up spell trap card you control. Very nice. Very nice. Ow. Just hit my desk. Alright, so let's see this thing. It is 2+ and 3+. Alright, that makes it a lot better of a monster. Now I really like the synchro, now that I know that it's set up that way. Alright. Let's see how quickly we get through this set of 10, and then we will go on, and then I will decide whether or not I want to continue opening packs on camera or not. Matriarch of Nephthys, Flamvell Archer, Genomics Fighter, Gash the Dust Lord, Shogi Lance. Level 3 Earth Beast Warrior, 500 attack and defense. Once per turn, you can target one other level 3 Beast Warrior type monster you control. The levels of that monster and this card become the combined levels of those monsters. That is a very convoluted way of saying it turns itself and another level 3 Beast Warrior into level 6. Levels of that monster and this card become the combined. Yeah, that's basically what it does. I don't know why you would want to do that. I don't think there's any level 12 synchro monster in the game, but okay. And a Thermal Genix. Mouse Force Fork, Synchro Soldier. Alright. A level 1 Earth Machine, 0 attack and defense. Once per turn, during your main phase 1, you can select one face-up synchro monster you control. Remove that face-up synchro monster you control from play and inflict 600 damage to your opponent. If you use this effect during your next standby phase, the removed from play monster returns to the field. Alright, that's not too bad. It's got no stats, so it will probably get crushed in the meantime, but you could do that to get around, you know, a permanent weakening effect, an equip spell card that your opponent may have put on it. It's got some uses, and then Lava Lance Lord. Molten Whirlwind Wall. Reprint card, Continuous Trap. All face-up lava monsters you control gain 100 attack for each lava monster in your graveyard. This gets very powerful. If you don't believe me, go ahead and duel the NPC against the lava NPC deck in the 5D's Duel World. It's awful. Lance Lord, Defender of Nephthys. I kind of want to make a Nephthys deck now. Just seeing all these new cards, I kind of want to play around with them. Genix Spare, Fork, Thermal Genix, Flameville Baby, Vermilion Sparrow, Rooster, Sparrow, Stinning, Red Mirror, Flamville Hedgehog, Rebirth of Nephthys, Origin, Double Resonator. A level 1 Fire Fiend Tuner. Okay, so this is something that Red Mirror recovers. No attack and defense. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can target one face-up monster on the field. That target is treated as a tuner this turn. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one Fiend-type monster you control. That Fiend-type monster is treated as a tuner this turn. You can only use this effect with Double Resonator once per turn. That's got uses. I mean, lots of flexibility in turning things into tuners. Flameville Dragnov, Boar, Powered Tuner, level 4 Water Dragon, 1400 attack, 1000 defense. This card gains 500 attack for each face-up tuner monster on the field. Okay, that can work better with some of the more high-stat tuners like Trap Eater and what was that thing? Genomics Fighter? Was that what it was called? Chronicler of Nephthys, Dust Flame Blast. Trap card. Banish all lava monsters from your graveyard. Destroy any number of cards on the field up to the number of monsters banished for this card's activation. Excuse me. That could be good. Unfortunately, it does say all. And it doesn't specify that they have to be your opponent's cards. So if you have too many lavas in your graveyard, this thing could end up blowing up stuff on your side of the field too. So really got to be careful about timing when you use that thing. And let's try 10 more, because that 10 seemed to go pretty quickly. I'm crossing my fingers hoping I get Red Dragon Archfiend. Like, as irritated as I am that he gets a box before Black Rose Dragon does, I still want Red Dragon Archfiend. And I was right. Malicious Spoon. A level 2 Dark Fiend, 100 attack, 500 defense. When a Malicious monster with a different name is normal or special summoned to your side of the field, except during the damage step, you can target one level 2 Fiend-type monster in your graveyard, special summon that target, its effects are negated. You can only use the effect of Spoon once per turn. So their effects seem to be geared to put all three on the field at the same time, but to what end, I don't know. Because none of them are tuners, so it's not like, you know, you can put 3 out and then combine them all into a decent synchro. You just have 3 weak-ass fiends on the field. Anyway, Magical Golem, Awakening of Nephthys, Double Resonator, Rebirth of Nephthys, Lava Cannon, reprint card, level 4 Fire Warrior, 1600 attack, 900 defense. When this card is normal or flip summoned, you can target one of your banished lava monsters, special summon that target. This is a very nice card because it helps you recycle some of the stuff that you may have been banishing for other levels. Obviously. Twin Shield Defender, Flame Cerberus, a level 6 Fire Pyro, 2100 attack, 1800 defense. It is a normal monster. I would say those stats are probably not worth the 1 tribute. And again, it's kind of that thing, like, if you don't have anything better, or if you're specifically building for normal monsters only, maybe, but I probably won't ever use it. Power Tuner, Malicious Spoon, Novel Cannon. Did we get an ultra rare? We might have. I don't know if there's a spell card in the ultra rares or not, but we might have. Genix Ally Remote, Hedgehog, and nope. This is a super rare, but it is Molten Conduction Field. Send 2 lava monsters from your deck to the graveyard. This is fantastic because I am well aware there is a monster in the game called Laval... I think it's called Laval Flugus, I want to say. But it's... I might be getting the name wrong, but there is a lava monster whose effect says that when it is sent to the graveyard, like, all your face-up lava monsters get a permanent 600 attack point boost or something crazy like that. So that spell card will just let you directly sort those things out and power up your Laval Synchros or just other Lavals on the field, and they will be a nightmare. Laval the Greater. Level 6 Fire Warrior Synchro, 2400 attack, 800 defense. Will accept any tuner, but requires non-tuner fires. When this card is synchro summoned, send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard. If this card would be destroyed by a card effect, you can banish a lava monster from your graveyard instead. Okay, so I mean, that thing's immune to the what was that thing called? Dust Flame Burst, or whatever that trap card was? That would basically just destroy the entire field if your graveyard is too full? Oh wait, no, it won't. Ignore me, because Burst would banish everything first, and then there would be nothing for Greater to banish to protect itself, so ignore me, it wouldn't. Malicious Knife, Neo Flame Vault Origin, Remote, Soldier, Fire Formation Yoko. A continuous spell card. When you activate this card, you can target 1 face-up card your opponent controls, discard 1 Beast Warrior type monster, and if you do, destroy that card. All Beast Warrior type monsters you control gain 100 attack. Pretty good. Obviously meant to work with Fire Fists. Neo Flamvell Shaman, another reprint. Level 3 Fire Pyro, 1700 attack, 200 defense. If this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, while you have 3 or more Flamvell monsters in your graveyard, select 1 card in your opponent's graveyard and remove it from play. If your opponent does not have any spell cards in your graveyard when this effect activates, inflict 500 damage to your opponent. So the idea here is once you have enough Flamvells in your graveyard, you start using this thing, destroy stuff, banish away spell cards first, and then you can just start inflicting burn damage. Soaring Eagle Above the Searing Land. What a weirdly named monster. Level 1 Fire Winged Beast Tuner. 100 attack, 0 defense. If this card is sent to the graveyard for a synchro summon, you can special summon this card. Okay. You must have 3 or more lava monsters with different names in your graveyard to activate and to resolve this effect. If this card is special summoned with this effect, banish it when it leaves the field. Alright, but you could do a sort of step-up synchro summoning. So, for example, you use this with a level 4 to create a level 5, immediately special summon this, and then tune with the level 5 to create a level 6. It's something. King Synchro. We are not getting Red Dragon Archfiend, are we? Lava Coatl, Gash the Dust Lord, Lava Lakeside Lady. Does not look like it. Lava the Greater, Malicious Force Knife, and Dual Slasher. Nope. No Red Dragon Archfiend. But not going to buy any more card packs. Let's just go ahead and take a look at what we have not gotten. So, obviously, cover monster, Red Dragon Archfiend. This is Jack's signature monster, so if you managed to unlock Jack to Atlas during the unlock event a few weeks ago, you can still use this card through one of Jack Atlas's skills, but getting it through this box will let anybody use it. It is a level 8 Dark Dragon Synchro with 3000 attack and 2000 defense. Accepts any tuner and non-tuners. After damage calculation, if this card attacks a defense position monster your opponent controls, you destroy all defense position monster your opponent controls. But during your end phase, destroy all of the monsters you control that did not declare an attack this turn. So, anything that's in attack but didn't because your opponent has something too big and scary, or anything of yours that's in defense mode, Red Dragon Archfiend will demolish for not attacking. So, very aggressive monster. Can possibly shoot you in the foot a little bit if you're not careful. Lavalval Dragon. A level 5 Fire Dragon Synchro, 2000 attack, 1100 defense. Accepts any tuner but needs non-tuner fires. You can shuffle 2 lava monsters from your graveyard into your main deck to target one card your opponent controls. Return it to the hand. Okay. That's actually scary because you could use this thing, send back the Flugis or whatever it is that gives stuff power boost, to, return an opponent's card to the hand. But then use that spell card, Molten Conductance Field, to send the Fluguses right back into the graveyard and then give this thing a massive-ass power boost. Yeah, this is the ritual monster I was thinking of. Cerulean Sacred Phoenix of Nephthys. A level 8 Fire Winged Beast ritual. 3000 attack, 1000 defense. You can ritual summon this card with Rebirth of Nephthys. You can only use each of the following effects of Cerulean Sacred Phoenix of Nephthys once per turn. During your main phase, you can destroy Nephthys cards in your hand and or face-up field, then destroy an equal number of monsters your opponent controls. That's a little scary. And during your next standby phase, after this card was destroyed by battle or card effect and sent to the graveyard, special summon this card from the graveyard. Wait. Destroyed by battle or card effect. So this thing just will not die. You have to banish this thing to get rid of it permanently. Wow. Okay. That thing's going to be a nightmare to deal with if your opponent summons it, but very cool. It's terrifying, but cool. Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Spirit. A level 3 Fire Beast Warrior tuner. 500 attack, 200 defense. Cannot be used as a synchro material except for the summoning of Beast Warrior type monster. When this card is normal summoned, you can target one level 3 fire monster with 200 or less defense in your graveyard. Special summon that target in defense position, and if you do, monsters you control cannot attack for the rest of this turn. Except Beast Warrior type monsters. You can only use this effective Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Spirit once per turn. Okay, so general idea is you use this thing, special summon, synchro material, the other half of the synchro summoning, and then tune with it. Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Bear. A level 4 Fire Beast Warrior, 1600 attack, 1200 defense. Once per turn, when this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can set one Fire Formation spell card directly from your deck. Once per turn, you can send one face-up Fire Formation spell card you control to the graveyard, then target a monster on the field, destroy that target. Very good card. Very good card. Vice Dragon. Level 5 Dark Dragon, 2000 attack, 2400 defense. If your opponent controls a monster, and you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand, but its original attack and defense become halved. That is not that bad at all, considering that excuse me, The primary way that Jack Atlas would use this thing in the anime was to special summon it, then immediately uses normal summon on a tuner, and synchro summon. So, really not that bad of a card if you have tuners in your hand. Living Fossil, an equipped spell card. Activate this card by targeting one level 4 or lower monster in your graveyard. Special summon it and equip it with this card, but banish it when it leaves the field, even if this card has left the field. When this card leaves the field, banish the equipped monster. Okay. The equipped monster loses 1000 attack and defense, and its effects are negated. You can only activate one Living Fossil per turn. Okay. And then Dark Bribe, a counter trap card. When an opponent's spell trap card is activated, your opponent draws a card, but negate the spell trap activation, and if you do, destroy it. I don't know how I feel about your opponent getting a free card, but their spell trap is removed anyway. I mean, negating a spell trap is always good, but that is a steep price to have to do it. Genix Ally, anyway, that was the last Ultra Rare. We're now moving on to Super Rares with Genix Ally Duradark. A level 4 Dark Machine, 1800 attack, 200 defense. Once per turn, during your main phase, you can select one face-up attack position monster your opponent controls with the same attribute as this card and destroy it. This card cannot attack the turn you activate this effect. Okay. What's that card? DNA Transplant that changes attributes for everything on the field? As a bonus, once I'm done looking at these cards, I'm going to go look that up, but anyway. Dread Dragon, a level 2 Fire Dragon Tuner, 1100 attack, 400 defense. When this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can add one level 3 or lower Dragon-type monster from your deck to your hand. Okay, I mean, you could use this thing to search out other copies of it from your deck. So there's that at least. It's a decent tuner, I guess. 3 Trolling Trolls. The ideas they come up with sometimes. A level 3 Water Beast Warrior tuner. 1000 attack, 1300 defense. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can target one Beast Warrior type monster in your graveyard. This card's attribute and level become the same as that monster's until the end phase of this, or until the end of this turn. During your main phase, you can special summon one Beast Warrior type monster with the same attribute and level as this card from your hand. You can only use each effect of 3 Trolling Trolls once per turn. You cannot special summon monsters the turn you activate either of this card's effects, except Beast Warrior type monsters. Okay, I could see that. Like, you find some way of sending a high-level Beast Warrior to the graveyard, use this thing to mimic its stats, and then special summon another copy of it that you have in your hand. So that's something. Then we have a normal monster, Alexandrite Dragon. Level 4 Light Dragon, 2000 attack, 100 defense. Skill Prisoner, a trap card. Target one card you control. This turn, when any monster effect resolves that targeted that card at activation, negate that effect. During either player's turn, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard, target one card you control. This turn, when any monster effect resolves that targeted that card at activation, negate that effect. Okay, so yeah, for one turn, it negates, like, it protects one of your monsters from your opponent's monster effects that target. A little bit on the weirdly specific side, but I could see this coming in handy against certain decks. Bad Aim. When your opponent's card or effect is activated, target one card on the field, other than that card, destroy it. That is an amazingly good trap card. Like, an absolutely good trap card. Wow. Like, just any card or effect, spell, trap, monster, anything. I want that card. That's awesome. Anyway, moving on to the rares, and looks like I missed a couple of normals as well. I need to hurry this up. This is dragging on for almost an hour because I am slow. A level 7. This is Ancient Flameville Deity. Level 7 Fire Pyro Synchro. 2500 attack, 200 defense. It requires a Fire Tuner and one or more non-tuner Pyro type monsters. When this card is synchro summoned, remove from play cards from your opponent's graveyard up to the number of cards in their hand. This card gains 200 attack for each card removed from play by this effect. Alright, not too bad. Red Gardna. Level 4 Fire Fiend, 0 attack, 2000 defense. During either player's turn, when your opponent activates a card or effect while you control a Red Dragon Archfiend monster, send this card from your hand to the graveyard. This turn, monsters you control cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. Okay, that's something else for Red Mirror to recover. That makes sense. Laval Volcano Handmaiden. A level 1 Fire Pyro Tuner, 100 attack, 200 defense. When this card is sent to the graveyard, if you have a Laval monster in your graveyard other than Laval Volcano Handmaiden, send one Laval monster from your deck to the graveyard. Alright, makes sense. Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Caribou. Level 4 Fire Beast Warrior, 1100 attack, 2000 defense. During the end phase, if this card is in the graveyard because it was destroyed by a card effect and sent there this turn, you can special summon one level 4 Fire Fist monster from your deck, except Caribou. If this card is sent to the graveyard for the synchro summon of a Fire Fist monster, set one Fire Formation spell card directly from your deck. Alright. There is another one. Umbral Horror Ghoul. Level 4 Dark Fiend, 1800 attack, 0 defense. Once per turn, you can make this card's attack 0, and if you do, special summon one Umbral Horror monster with 0 attack from your hand. Alright. Does that work with... Where's that thing? Where's Double Resonator? Where is it? It's not an ultra rare, I know that. Am I blind? Where the hell is Double Resonator? So I think that's these things are supposed to work with that Double Resonator monster, but I can't find it so I can double check its effect, but I think it said something like you could banish it from your graveyard target and treat a fiend on your field as a tuner. So I guess that's what you're supposed to do with these things. But the problem is I am a blind man and I cannot see where this stupid card is. Even though I'm sure it's probably pretty obvious. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Yeah, target one face-up monster on the field. Target is treated as a tuner. Banish this card from your graveyard. Target a fiend-type monster you control. That fiend-type monster is treated as a tuner. Okay, so yeah, so Double Resonator is supposed to work with these Umbral Horror monsters to turn one of them into a tuner so that you can synchro summon with them. Okay, now I understand what these things do. Moving on, sorry about that. A Mind Trust spell card, target one level 2 or higher monster. Add one tuner monster from your graveyard to your hand whose level is less than or equal to tribute one level 2 or higher monster. Add one tuner monster from your graveyard to your hand whose level is less than or equal to half of the tributed monsters. So you tribute a 4, you can get up to a 2. Fair enough. And now into the normals. Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Hawk. Level 3 Fire Beast Warrior. 200 attack, 1500 defense. If this card in its owner's possession is destroyed by an opponent's card, either by battle or by card effect, set a Fire Formation spell card directly from your deck. While you control a Fire Formation spell trap card, all Fire Fist monsters you control gain 500 attack and defense. Alright. Flame Champion. Level 6 Pyro, 1900 attack, 1300 defense. It's a normal monster, I wouldn't bother. Crimson Fire. Counter trap card. When your opponent activates a spell trap card that would inflict damage to you while you control a Red Dragon Archfiend, your opponent takes twice the effect damage you would have taken instead. I don't know how frequently you'd be able to use this counter trap card, but something about that effect just makes me like giggle to myself. Just being like, haha, I'm going to deal 500 damage to you. No, you don't. You deal 1,000 damage to yourself. Alright, well, it's been almost an hour. Ignore ignore all of that. I don't care. That's all just other stuff. And in fact, this is over an hour, because that distraction, but I just need to double check. It'll load. There we go. DNA. DNA transplant. Activate by declaring a monster attribute. All face monsters become that attribute. Yep, so this would be a good card to run alongside that Jinx ally Duradark. Activate this, declare Dark, and then just once per turn you can give up its attack to just continuously destroy your opponent's monsters. In fact, I already see that being a strategy, so yeah, with that, that has been all of the cards in the Absolute Inferno main box. So thank you all so much for watching, especially if you made it this far. And I hope you all had a great time, and I hope you all have a great day. And I will see you all in the next one.